dialogue, we gon' tell the truth. We ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are, do we bow? Not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall underground. Underground dialogue, we gon' tell the truth. We ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are, do we bow? Not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. From the industry to the Oval Office, we expose the darkest motives of them all, and disclose what the protocol is. Thinking and moving logical, stopping every maneuver possible, and apologizing for truth is not optional. We gon' help you with what you go through, reshape and mold you, and sweep over them weak lies they told you. If you living with no clue, we gon' deprogram the old you, and you get to keep your soul too.
What up, man? This is Big Brother K ringing over. Y'all tuned in again to another episode of the Underground Dialogue Podcast. The name speaks for itself. This is Big Brother K ringing over to my left.
It's Keystone.
Building, man. What's going on, man?
Man. Good week.
You had a good week?
Yeah, you gonna have a good month. Yeah. Congratulations on that Canada.
Look, we coming to Canada, y'all.
Watch out, Canada.
We'll be out there doing this thing, so y'all check it out. We'll put the information on the screen.
There you go.
We'll be out there February the 4th. We're going to meet week out there in Toronto, Canada. Yeah, and we'll make sure that y'all, by now y'all should be seeing the information on the screen. So if you want to come check us out, be sure to do that, man. But other than that, man, you've been good.
Oh, man, it's busy. Yeah.
Busy is a blessing. Man, we got to go into a big topic tonight, a music industry related topic. But I first want to acknowledge the observation of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday and the holiday that after years and years, America finally decided that it was worthy of it being a holiday.
With the closing banks and everything else.
Yeah, like a real so-called holiday. But they fought so long against it all them years, and all 50 states wasn't on board in the beginning. It was like, shh, man, we ain't worried about it. But now they got it. They threw us a bone. Yeah. Threw us a bone, and now, he's been acknowledged. But more so than just worrying about the devil's acknowledgement.
Okay.
We have to be the ones to really hold him up and uplift him, not get caught up in, they finally did this for us. They finally did that. We got to get out of that mindset. Yeah. But we definitely want to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But what I like to celebrate.
With Martin Luther King?
Yeah, what I like to celebrate is the second version of Martin Luther King.
Okay, tell me about that one, because I was going to tell you something about Martin Luther King.
Yeah, wait, I'm going to let you go first. Yeah, you go ahead.
Because back when I was little, this is what I learned about Martin Luther King. I used to think Martin Luther King versus Malcolm X. Malcolm X was more of my type of guy. You touch me, I'm going to thrash you out. Right. I didn't really respect how Martin Luther King used to turn the other one, let him slap down, let him slap down. Right. But then as I got older, I realized the type of strategic chess play this boy was doing. Martin Luther King was no punk. Once the more I got to learn more about him, he'd start that as soon as the cameras come on. As soon as your cameras come on. Because he was affecting, he wasn't targeting you, he was targeting your children. Right. And your children's children, and your children's children. So when it goes to now, when you see everything, you be like, how kind of crazy is these people letting German Shepherds, sick grandmas, putting water hoses on aunties, and they ain't doing nothing. And it's all documented, and not by Martin Luther King's camera. Yeah. It's documented by every last one of their cars, and it's repeated. Yeah. So when you see that now, my children's children see that, they be like, wow. And Martin Luther King played chess, not checkers.
And this generation look at that and be like, that wouldn't be me. Yeah. I wish y'all would. So but at the end of the day, you even when you are kind of rocking in that non-violent space, that he rocked in at time, it's still, as weird as it's gonna sound, y'all might get upset when I say that. It still takes a level of bravery to even keep coming around there to do that. Yeah. But it just wasn't for a lot of people. Like, it wouldn't have been for me as well. I'm more into the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's philosophy of like, nah, we ain't turning the other cheek. Yeah. You hit me in one, you finna get one of yours. Yeah. But the other side of Martin Luther King that I grew to really respect, because we was presented with a version of Martin Luther King that they wanted to present us with. The I have a dream. That's all you get.
Yeah.
All you get. I might not make it to the top of the mountain. Right. And like, so what you know about Martin Luther King? He had a dream. That's what the little children say.
Yeah.
But toward the end of his life, he started waking up.
Yeah.
He started getting on his head in a way that made him more dangerous than he ever was back when he was marching and doing sit-ins and all that. And the last straw was when he opposed the Vietnam War and spoke out against their interests on that level, because with his power and influence, his reach, they feared that if he started speaking out against that, then it may sway a lot of other people to start turning against that as well, and which affects their bottom line, because we know America is
like that, buddy.
Yeah, war is business.
They always say America's for sale.
Yeah, so Martin Luther King, he started waking up at the end. He actually met with the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's a famous picture of them sitting together talking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no doubt. I got it on the t-shirt. I should have worn that shirt to that one thing. Yeah. But he started to really start to sway his thought process, even so much as going to say, as he said, that I fear that I've integrated my people into a burning house. Yeah, so he was getting there. And unfortunately, he was assassinated before he could actually get that. And that's why he said, I may not get there with you, because he saw the writing on the wall for himself. And
sure, they was steady calling it, and you know how they be, they're dead.
Oh yeah. Well, that's intimidation process, the tactics that they always use, and it works on some, but the real ones, they like, yeah, man, you do what you gotta do. Come with it and come with it. You gotta do. So shout out to the great Dr. Martin Luther King, man. Whether you agree 100% with his methods or not, you can't do nothing but respect the fact that his goal was to try to get black people to a better place and to a better space and an elevated position and status of this wicked society that we still live in and we still fighting, man.
To this day, on Martin Luther King, it's some black people on every street.
Hey, look, it's only right. It's only right. Hey, man, if you go to a different city, hey, man, where's Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard? I'm looking for the hood.
Yeah, they gonna be in the hood.
Yeah.
And they don't practice nonviolence on no bad way.
Well, but then that's all because at the end of the day, we gotta not be in the mind frame of just being happy with the bone getting thrown. Yeah. See, so if they name the street after the brother, then we got to honor the brother by cleaning it up and keeping it that way. So that falls on us. It ain't his fault. He never lived to know that a street got named after him. So it's up to us. That's why, again, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, make your own neighborhood a safe and decent place to live. It ain't about moving and following white folks to the suburbs because, they going to Sugar Land, that must be the place to be now. Yeah. Nah, it's about, okay, I can stay right here. I can stay right here in the hood, and if we do what we're supposed to do, we can beautify our areas and make it a paradise.
That's crazy, because a lot of times they say a lot of people get killed in their own hoods. And that's the narrative they're trying to paint lately. Yeah. Like, get the hell out of that neighborhood.
Well, they will paint that narrative because guess what they doing? They doubling back and coming
back to the neighborhood and buying it with its low.
So, we can't fall for that, man. We just got to do better among ourselves. And once we start doing better, then our surroundings will reflect that. So, but we don't go into the topic, man. We just wanted to have to pay some homage and show some love to my brother. And without a doubt, man. But look, check this out.
There we go.
Man, I'm online the other day.
Okay.
And I see that another artist is selling their catalog.
Okay.
Selling their music catalog. It was Dr. Dre.
What are you selling it for?
Great Dr.
Dre. Gotta be a couple of hundred.
You hit the nail on the head. They gave him 200 milligrams.
So is he now officially a billionaire? Because before then they were saying he was a little bit short.
He was close at the time when he did the beats and all that, but I know he just he went through a divorce situation. And then he like to say, see, when I look at the whole Kanye situation, and then when I watched the statement that Mr. Farrakhan made in relation to Kanye and the question he asked, he said, did you ever really have? So the bottom line is, it looks good, it sounds good when you see one of our brothers or sisters hit that milestone. But in reality, we know that in order to hit that milestone, they have to help you get there. So, you know, that's cool, but we ain't gonna just be deceived by that. But he sold it for $200 million, just like you said. So it made me think. I said, wait a minute. Lil Wayne just sold his catalog a while back, right?
Yeah, Lil Wayne did it. Who else did it?
Well, I pulled up a list.
Oh, you got this.
Because I was like, man, a lot of artists are selling their catalog. So me being the
researcher.
Well, I won't say research, but I would say the partial conspiracy theorist that I am.
Okay.
I start thinking something getting ready to happen. There's something going on. Something ain't right.
They catching that early.
So before I acted on that and spoke on that without really knowing it, just going off my own, you know, Negro instincts, I said, let me look this up and try to see what's going on. So I found a list that had like 100 artists that had sold their catalog.
Mainstream?
And all up and down, mostly mainstream though.
Wow.
And I wrote some of them down. It was first, like I said, with Drake, Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
Got 100 million for his. Future
sold it?
Future sold his. Chuck D, Public Enemy sold his.
Chuck D.
Rodney Jerkins, the R&B producer, Dark Child.
Yeah.
So Dark Child got
Dark Child, that's the one with Brandy in it.
Yeah, and Tony Braxton and all of them. Okay, you got
that's crazy.
Bob Dylan, the great Bob Dylan.
He sold
375 million was the report I read. Somewhere in between 375 and 400 million. We mentioned Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
The singer Stevie Nicks, he got 100 milligrams. Barry Manilow.
Yeah. Barry Manilow,
bro. Shakira.
Oh, shoot.
Paul Simon. Now, the one that got me was Bruce Springsteen. Wow. He got half a billy. Half a billy. And more recently, one of the guys was John Legend.
John Legend?
Yeah. Okay. Wow. So
that says a lot.
That's a lot. Now that's just a few of the people that was on the list. Those are some of the names that I just put down just to kind of caught me slipping. Mm-hmm. But I started saying, well, wait a minute, what's going on? Because I started looking at a lot of the artists who finally, after that little 30, 35 year period, had received the rights to their music back, which brings me to the understanding. These artists who we just named, they didn't sell their masters. They sold the publishing. Okay. So if you look at, I can remember Anita Baker got the ownership of her master recordings back. I think De La Soul got the ownership of their master recordings back. This is separate from the publishing and what we're seeing with these artists doing. So I was still wondering why. So a couple of articles I read, a couple of videos that I saw, they kind of went into that. And that was just these brothers, man, real smart brothers, man. Shout out to them called Trapital. And I watched a pretty detailed video of them talking about it, and it gave me a lot of insight. So I got off my conspiracy box for a second, and I said, okay, why are they selling all this stuff, man? The first thing comes to mind is the common sense thought, okay, well, you need the money. Getting old is on my list though. Yeah. But if you have an opportunity for somebody to give you $200, $300, $400 million at one time, mixed in with getting older, like you said, then a lot of people are going to take that. Right. And also, a lot of people didn't sell their entire catalog. They sold partial. They sold percentages of it. So they still have a little ownership over it.
Do they say who they selling these stuff to? Is it like the same person?
No, it's a mixture. They have there's 3 or 4 companies. There's a company called Hypnosis, and they buying the majority. Yeah. They getting and there's this guy, the owner of Hypnosis, this guy named Mercuritis or something. I can't pronounce his last name, but also he's tied in with Nile Rodgers. Now, if you don't know who Nile Rodgers is, Nile Rodgers was with the group back in the days, Chic. That good times.
Okay. Yeah.
That's Nile Rodgers.
Okay.
He also wrote for Sister Sledge and a lot of other when the song Will Smith sampled the Getting Jiggy With It song back in the day.
Yeah.
That's a Nile Rodgers sample. You know, from a Sister Sledge song back in the day.
Nas wrote that.
You know, the Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the original recording that comes from Nile Rodgers and the guy from Chic. So you got Hypnosis. You got another company called Primary Wave. There's another one I think called Shamrock, and these are more like music investment like companies. But the catalogs are also being bought out by major music companies too. The publishing companies, divisions of those companies, like you got Sony, the three big Sony, Universal, and Warner Bros. Those are the big three. So they buying a lot of it too. So it's like an arms race for everybody to get these catalogs from these artists. But to go back to what you was asking about, yeah, a lot of these cats need money. Because when the pandemic hit, everything shut down, the shows stopped.
Yeah.
Boys can't go on the road and make no money, which brings you to the understanding of something that a lot of us may have already known, but a lot of people don't know because we get so caught up in the glitz and the glamour and the flash and all that.
Yeah.
These cats don't be having money like we think they be having.
And they have bills like crazy, like the $30,000 a month bills.
Man, your light bill $30,000 a month.
You got 40 rooms in your house.
Yeah, you gotta pay taxes on your properties and that. So you see these cats touring all in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, you know, because not so much because of the love of the music and the art and all that, because I gotta pay bills.
Yeah.
I got 11 children scattered all out through the United States. And so in that regard, when the pandemic shut everything down, now a person who was making millions of dollars a year touring year in and year out, it dried up.
And that streaming money is like pennies to a dollar.
Yeah, without it. And seeing that, that's another war. That's a whole other war that's going on with the streaming. And we'll touch on that in a little bit. But I want to do a whole show on that with somebody who's bring an expert in and really talk about. Yeah, but that's part of the game.
It looks like it's just going there. Like when you had albums, you had a significant amount that you can see. Then you went to MP3s. People wasn't buying that many CDs as they used to because you can just print out your own CD. Then now the streaming, and it's just steady going.
Yeah, you know, well, because a lot of things too is that you know, like there's a war going on, and these companies, music companies who are buying these publishing catalogs, they making the majority of the money off of the stream.
Exactly.
So they don't want the artists to make a lot of bread off the street. They monopolizing and just being greedy and taking all that bread.
And then they can tell you exactly how much you think they run up the streams, run down the streams. People really they get like a real grasp of what the streams is right by now yet, or they still trying to figure that out.
No, they know. They know. They had the breakdowns and everything off the dollar. They had the breakdowns off. It's just the fact that they are paying, like you say, they paying crumbs, and they making all that money off of it because they make an estimated. It was one end of the year, like a quarter. It was like the last 3 months of the year. They was making like $1 million an hour. That's crazy. The major music companies were making like $1 million an hour. So you got all these artists that are selling their work, selling their catalog, but they selling the publishing. They're not selling the masters because a lot of cases they may not even own the masters. Because I was thinking about Prince, Michael, and all. And Prince was always a big warrior fighting for the ownership of masters.
Now, okay, let's just do this. What is a master? Is it like the Pro Tools files?
The master is the final concrete version of the recording when you come out of the studio that is submitted to the record labels for release.
It has all the layers.
Yeah, the master. So if you got a studio and I do an album in your studio, once I've recorded and mixed down and mastered every song. I got 15 songs on this project, and you burn me a CD copy of it. Okay. You know, or you send me a file of it.
I say the Photoshop file.
Right. At the end of the day, that is considered the master, the final version of it. Now, if you sign to a record label, then what happens is typically based on the contract that you sign, typically the record label, they own that master and they pay you a percentage of the royalties that come off those sales. But the smart artists, every now and then, the guys who come in with a little weight behind them, a little knowledge and a little leeway to bargain and negotiate, they will have partial ownership of their masters, or they will have full ownership in some cases. Really hard to get full to be on a major label, but that's what the difference is.
So when you got your the masters, what are you all able to do with it? Like you can do your own remix, like what?
You can do whatever you want to do with it. See, because if I have my masters, if I don't own my masters, okay, and just say I wanna, hey man, I wanna use my own song, I wanna go back and do a remix of it and blah blah blah. The label may say, well, nah, you can't do that because you gotta go through us. We actually technically own it. I don't have any power to work my own art.
So you can be like, I don't agree with nobody smoking cigarettes. Oh well, sir, you don't have the masters there. We put your new song is the new title track.
And they can do it. And they can do whatever they're right. They can do whatever they want to do. That's right. That's right. You know, that's a good example because they can just say, well, man, you know, look, man, we want to put this on this particular TV show. And you're like, man, I don't like this show. I don't like what they stand for. I don't like what they're doing. But if you don't own it, it ain't nothing you can do but be mad. All you can do is be mad. So the publishing is what these guys are coming off of, is what they're selling. They're not selling the masters. So that's what made it look like, wow. But the only thing about the publishing, the people say, well, man, why would you get rid of your publishing? Because that represents what we talk about all the time, the generational wealth. Because publishing is perpetuity. That means as long as life exists, as long as there is a musical structure and setup and system, as long as these songs are being played, it's generating publishing royalties. Why would you sell that? Again, some of these cats need bread.
Or some of these cats' songs ain't playing. You ever think of that?
Well, it depends. When you talk about the mainstream guys that we just named, oh, that stuff playing. You can Paul Simon is on the radio somewhere on some soft rock station right now. You know, Barry Manilow, that stuff is playing. It's generating publishing money and it's generating sync money too. Sync licensing money is more like you hear it on a commercial, you hear a clip of it in the movie, they put on a video game or some crap like that. But it's generating bread, you know. Now, the other thing that people are not, that I got educated on is a lot of people are selling their catalogs and getting these big lump sums because of tax issues.
It's coming down at tax time too?
Because Dr. Dre was said to be making about $10 million a year off of his catalog, right? So if he's making $10 million a year, that means that they are taxing him on that $10 million every year. But for him to get that lump sum,
they tax that lump sum,
and that's it. And now whatever the rest is, that's what the rest is.
So they'll pay taxes on publishing the checks, royalties.
Yeah. You know, if you generate that bread, they tax that. So at the end of the day, this is what he just got is called like a capital gains. You know, so he hit one big lick. It's kind of like if you won the lottery. Just say you hit the lottery and then you win $500 million. They give you an option for a payout.
It's like
their payment plan.
It's my money and I wanted that.
Yeah, but they'll tell you, hey man, we can give you $300,000 a month for as long as or we can give you this big lump right now, but they're gonna take some out. Most people, man, go give it a lump. You know. So you take that $200 million, that $300 million, pay what you gotta pay out of it, and then you good. Because at $200 million, and he's getting $10 million a year, it would have took him 20 years to get that $200 million.
And he's getting old now.
Give me that all at one time, you know. So those are some of the reasons, like you say, getting older, they need the money, tax situation,
wife acting up.
Yeah, man, yeah, and the big one, like we said, some of these cats they don't have the money.
They think they have
that a lot of us be thinking.
Cap show,
you know what I'm saying? So when I read it from that angle, I understood, but it's just something in me that's still just like I don't like to give my work back to the beast like that.
It looks like they sell it right when they're at their peak. So like Drake sold this right after he just got the whole award for the Super Bowl when he did the whole Like he constructed that whole Super Bowl halftime show. And then right after this, get to the peak of Drake. And then I think Snoop just paid money to get the Chronic back for him.
Yeah. You see, and I think what Snoop got control over are master recordings. I think now don't somebody correct me and don't quote me on that, but there may be some publishing mixed up in there too. But I know he acquired some of those master recordings, Death Row stuff as well. So it's a question of, if you was an artist, would you do it? You know, and some people are saying, well, man, you know, like I said, some of them are selling partial of their catalog. They're not selling all of it. They're just getting rid of pieces of it so they can kind of be in the middle. Like, okay, I'm not here to lick, but I still got a connection, so I still have some ownership of it.
Well, I wonder which ones they sell, because Jay got those super hits, and then the other ones, like, I hope he.
Well, you know, but people ain't stupid though.
They won't.
You can't sell me
on the Dre Day.
Little song that didn't do all that hot, but then you want to hold on to.
You keep the ghetto boy.
Right. You know, they not doing like that. But some people, they going all in though, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so they going.
Think about Lil Wayne's catalog.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Is Drake trying to sell his?
I didn't see nothing as far as Drake was concerned, but. The list I saw, it was 100 artists, man. That was just minimal. That was just that list. Wow. And there was names that I didn't even bring out because I was just so surprised. Like, man, that's amazing. But, you know, I was starting to think, I'm like, well, man, you know, maybe something was going on in the industry, you know, that we don't know about. And people getting out. And because people even mentioned about artists kind of getting leery about just the way music is sold and the technology changing. They may feel like it may just be a wise move to go ahead on and let me get out. And anything that doesn't line up with that, if it don't work out like that, okay, I'm an artist. I can go in, I can make new stuff. I can always go in and recreate, man. So
I was looking at what's that? I was just lost my train of thought.
I'm supposed to be the old man. I'm supposed to be the old man on the show. You know?
No, but I come back to
having memory loss. But you know, I was just thinking like what could be getting ready to happen, because they're trying to monopolize, man. And if like hypnosis, look up hypnosis, y'all. They get everybody's stuff, man. They get everybody's stuff.
That's what it was. I thought. Because I was noticing more people, and now because those streaming platforms that we were talking about, you have to upload all your music to.
Yeah.
It's just what, 3 or 4 of them. Or 5, or whatever it is. I've been noticing the people that really want to be independent, they're trying to find a way where they can produce their own kind of streaming platform, and that's the only way you can get this music from.
Right. I mean, I'm all for that, man. You know, we talked about that a little bit. Like when Face was here, we were just talking about how even with ownership, you still don't really own it and control it as long as we got to go.
The channels, yeah,
and that's a good point. So it will be great for us to build something like that on our own and to have it to where artists can be comfortable, you know, running that stuff through there. We can be comfortable creating it and running our own music through there. But it's so monopolized and so dominated by the powerhouses that are already in place, that already had the weight behind them and the power structure behind them. But you know, anything is possible if we just learn the dynamics of it, learn how it operates and how it's built.
Yeah.
Then it ain't nothing that can stop us from doing the same thing.
Yeah. Because I think nowadays everything is going towards these apps. Even in the car, they got, you know, these car toys or whatever. You can. I think if we learn to get to the point to where we can do our own apps, and then the car dealerships and stuff agree with it. Sort of like how you can do like the App Store right now. You can put in your own app if you want to, and you give somebody the option to pick it. Right now in the cars, it's only a certain amount. Even with with digital radio, you know, you only get a certain amount of channels of those.
Right.
So everybody can't get them, and I don't know the process to go into that, but I think at the end, once we get everything figured out, that might be a good option as well. To just take your own stuff, put on your own app, and stream it your own stuff, and can't nobody get it but the people that sign up towards you.
Yeah, because I don't think, just thinking back on this whole situation, I don't think any of those artists who own that publishing, I don't think that they want to sell their stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Obligation.
Yeah, because that's something to take pride in, that I have ownership of it in the first place. Because a lot of artists don't control the rights to their publishing, to their catalog. They don't even have a grain of it because they got messed over by the label. They got messed over by some management company or some manager, and they never even had an ounce of their publishing. So I don't think that no artist that ever, that sold their stuff, some of the people that name, it ain't that they want to do it, but it's just about when somebody make you an offer that it's hard to refuse. 200, when you start dancing up in the $200-300 million atmosphere, that's hard for anybody to turn down, but the artists who are doing well, that's not a problem that they have. I would really be curious to know how Prince would be if he was still around, how he would view this whole thing that's happening right now. Because I know, like I said, I know he talked about masters a lot. He didn't really, go into publishing, at least that I would see. He wanted to make sure that my master, I don't care if it's on a freaking reel to reel,
You want that?
that's mine. But I would be real curious to know how he would feel, because what happened was, I found out too, that his family, who, his estate,
they sold it.
They sold a portion of it. They didn't sell it all, but they sold a portion of it.
I seen that too. Yeah,
Prince was on the list, and I was like, man. So looking back on it, I didn't know Prince, but in my mind, just watching how he moved and how he talked in his interview, I can't see him doing that. I can't see him doing that.
But on the other hand, his counterpart, I can see Michael Jackson over there. Let me get that. Everybody, everybody.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Mike would be on the side of it, trying to get. He'll be fighting with hypnosis and the primary waves, and trying to be what they are. Because that's how him and Paul fell out. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, I mean, I understand. I'm real curious. But to me, also, that's why they ain't here no more either. You know what I'm saying? The Giants who made us educated about these particular aspects of the game, and they had the influence, just like we just got to talk about Martin Luther King, that had the kind of influence to sway the way people look at it. They had to be eliminated, bro. They had to be eliminated. So I think Mike, Prince, going all the way back to Sam Cooke, because Sam Cooke was the first. He was one of the first black artists that was on top of publishing and knew about it and knew the value of it in what they call perpetuity, meaning forever. This is money that could be generated forever. And this that snake, Alan Klein, he was managing Sam Cooke, and to this day, his family still has control over Sam Cooke's work. And that's part of the reason why you haven't seen a Sam Cooke movie come out, and a lot of the things that are affiliated with Sam Cooke don't really get a lot of reach, because anybody that wants to do anything about Sam Cooke got to go through them.
Okay. I was watching the Sam Cooke thing on Netflix. Yeah. I ain't know Bobby Womack was like that.
Bobby Womack, man, we done shifted into that, man.
I thought when you said that snake, you were gonna talk about Bobby.
Well, that's hey, that's a different level, man. Y'all got to do y'all research.
Do your Googles.
And like I was telling my brother, man, that one song, that one song Bobby Womack made that I wish he didn't trust me so much. Woo, man, come on. Man, sometimes people say that when you've done something, you've committed a terrible crime, it's just something in your mind that at some point, no matter how long you keep it a secret, you're going to get it out in some kind of way. Well,
passive aggressive way.
Yeah, man. It had to come out, and he wrote that song. But That's a hell of a story, man.
That's a hell of a story.
See, because I'm a Sam Cooke fan, so I know about all of it.
Yeah.
And Bobby Womack, for y'all who don't know what the hell we talking about, yeah, he married Sam Cooke's wife like
Right after.
real soon after Sam Cooke was dead. They say he even showed up to the funeral with Sam Cooke's wife wearing one of Sam's suits. You ain't know that, did you?
I didn't know that one.
They say he was wearing one of Sam's suits at the funeral, and then later on, Sam's brothers caught up with him at a hotel room, and they
Put the beats on.
put them things on him. You know what I'm saying?
Because Bobby Womack was Sam Cooke's artist.
Yeah, he was Sam's protege. They had a group called the Valentinos, and it was Bobby Womack and his brothers.
Yeah.
And they came up under Sam. And Sam was the first one to teach Bobby Womack about publishing, because what happened was Bobby Womack and his brothers, they had a song called "It's All Over Now," and it was just a small little song they made. But when they released the song, the Rolling Stones did a cover version of it, and it
took out.
And Bobby Womack was mad, and he was telling Sam, "Man, I don't want the white boy doing it." And Sam was like, "Let him do it, but this finna feed us." You know what I'm saying? Sam understood. So just on that principle, you look at it like, man, this man bring you in the game, teach you the game, give you the game, and then at the end of the game. Yeah, so I mean, that's let that be a lesson to y'all, man. Don't bite the hand that feeds you, man. That's a tough situation. Keystone took the conversation in this direction.
All right, we can steer back.
But it's valuable. It's valuable, though, It's valuable because it all ties into just certain principles and codes that we got to live by, whether it be in music or in life. And it just, I don't know. But, I mean, at the end of the day, man, those were three guys, Sam, Michael, and Prince, that I feel like they were ahead of the game. And ironically, even Sam Cooke's death came under suspicion, because a lot of people that was at Sam's funeral, when they looked into the casket, it didn't line up with what they were saying really happened to him. Yeah, he got shot, but the singer Etta James, she talked about how Sam's knuckles was broke, and in the casket, his knuckles was broke. His face looked beat in, like he had got beat up. Not just shot, because the story is they just shot him and then he slid down and he was gone. But it was a lot of other stuff that looked like pointing more towards he got beat as opposed to just getting shot. And the shot might have just been to make it look like what it looked like. So,
especially back then,
there
wasn't no DNA. There wasn't like no DNA or no people resembling reacting to crime like how they do it now.
And in the mid '60s,
you can get away with it.
We just got to discussing Martin Luther King Jr. This is right in the prime of that, where the civil rights movement was in full swing. So nobody care what happened to no nigga, no way. I don't care how famous he is, because even to this day, that's the mindset of resentment, racist resentment towards you. I don't care if you $1 billion person, if you $1 billion black person, then racist sectors of white America gonna look at you like, I don't care who you are. We don't care what happened. So they didn't care nothing about Sam being Sam, and especially in those times, like you said, the investigation was not gonna be extensive enough. So Sam's gone, and they move on to the next. You know what I'm saying? But he was a pioneer in terms of that movement, in terms of educating black artists at that time about what it is and how important it is to have publishing.
So music business.
I got locked into that mindset just when I started learning about all this late in the game. I was learning about all this. So that's why my mind have been blown lately to see a lot of these artists that are selling off and publishing.
See what's about.
Yeah.
And it's just smart to do that.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's the question. I mean,
it's smart to do the research.
The research. Yeah, because I'm not saying it ain't smart to do it. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm tripping now. I'm like, wait a minute, because do you have a price? You know, do you have a price, and does it make sense? Does it make sense for you on certain levels? And now I can understand the level of this fool broke, he ain't got no money. Okay? You down to your last 13,000, and you done sold 80 million records in your lifetime, and you living in this big old house, and then somebody come along and say, I got 200 million for you. Okay, I get it. You know, at certain points you can't stand on that at certain point. Well, no, I don't want to. You've mismanaged it anyway. But I mean, just you know, if you have it, you know, if your net worth is still solid and you've done good with your finances and all that, you know, I wouldn't advise or go see nobody selling whole catalog.
What about some people that like have no children, and to that extent, and it's just them? Like, who would that go down to? So they think you might as well bottle you for.
Well, if the person got a will, then they will incorporate whatever their wishes are into their will. But a lot of artists don't have wills, and that's another reason why they're kind of saying that a lot of people are doing that, because they're connecting it to getting their affairs in order, getting their estates in order, so it won't be messy whenever they pass on. Like, because it got messy after Prince. Prince didn't have a will. His family got messy after Aretha Franklin.
Oh, yeah. James Brown.
Yeah, it got messy after James Brown.
Even right now, even Takeoff.
Yeah, right. I heard about that. I heard about that. So if an artist doesn't have a will and then they die, because all of these people that we naming outside of maybe Aretha, maybe James, you know, that were up that age, a lot of these people, their deaths was unexpected. Nobody saw this happening to Mike. Nobody saw this happening to Prince. Definitely didn't see it happening to Takeoff. Yeah. So at Takeoff's age, what was he? 21.
26 or 24.
So you can stop at 20. Just the fact that he's in his 20s, then unless he was just a young dude that was really, really on top of his business, most likely, how many 20-some-year-olds got a will?
Exactly, nobody. You don't even think like that.
Right, you don't even think like that, because you feel like, man, I got 200 more years of life. So with that kind of money being left behind, and most likely anybody who's doing good and making bread like that as an artist or anything, guess what? Your people is fighting behind trying to get your money while you living.
Yeah, you know
they pulling on you while you living.
So die.
So when you gone, it's really because everybody who could not have their entitlement to your riches contested now. Yeah. Now they gonna say, well, he wanted me to have the jury. He always told me that but ain't none of that laid out. Yeah. So the family breaks up and becomes more divided after the person is gone, instead of coming together on love after the person is gone. Because truth be told, yeah, we love you, but I'm still alive. I need to get some of that money.
And look, when my dad passed, I almost whooped 3 niggas. Yeah. Because of the same thing. They go through the house. Oh yeah, he need that. He don't even want that. Let me get that. And you like, nah, you trying to grieve. Right. And at the same time, now you got to referee your people, your loved ones, stuff.
What they call it, almost like a grave robber.
Yeah, vultures coming in.
You the pirate. You looking for the treasure. Yeah, and seeing this, and then the people who really are grieving behind their loved one, they ain't even thinking about that stuff.
That's what it's.
It's about the mink, the fur coat, and the jewelry, and there's a box of money, 10 grand in a shoe box. We ain't thinking about that right now. We think about getting these arrangements in order, and we thinking about making sure that we take care of our loved one and send them off the best way possible. There's somebody else, like you say, they in there. So whatever happened to that ring, man?
Exactly. But that's the quickest way you can get your ass kicked. Because the person that's going through that stuff needs to release that. Right. And if you in there giving options, hey, you know this, he didn't want this, he always wanted me to have this. We ain't even thinking about that. You tell them once, they do it again, you gon' snap just for the fact that it's so much pressure boiling in on you.
Well, you know what?
The 60-year-old,
you might snap just by somebody inquiring about it. Just like I say, like, your dad ain't never say what he was gonna do. with all them gators and alligator shoes he had.
Yeah.
Man, why you asking me about that right now?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? What the hell is wrong with you? You know, but yeah, that's a real good point, man. So just imagine when the stakes is
exactly that high.
millions on the line.
Houses on the line.
Houses and land and property. And the sad part B is when you have somebody who have dedicated their whole life to creating and building that work, all for somebody to just give it away or squander it off or fight over it like that, man. You know, it'd be funny because a lot of like, dude ain't even like you when you was alive. So how you feel like you entitled to something that he had? He wouldn't give you nothing. See, that's the sign. If he wasn't looking out for you when you was here, when he was here, what make you think that he's gonna? Oh, I'm just gonna wait till I'm gone. Then I'm gonna bless your game. Yeah. Nah, you was no. If it was a will, you wasn't gonna be no will.
They would piss on you if you was on fire.
Yeah, man. I got a song called "Family Fools," and I talk about that in that song. Is how families get more separated, divided after the loved one is gone. You know what I'm saying? And we got to use that as a lesson, right now, because the bottom line is sometimes even if one of these artists or anybody, they got a will. If they do express where everything is going and it lands where it's going to go, if your mind and your knowledge and character is not lined up, you're going to trick the money off anyway.
Facts.
So we see that a lot of people get all this money, and before you know it, it's like, man, they done blew this man's whole legacy off. This man's whole legacy is gone.
Gone in a year.
And I think about legacy when we see all these artists that are moving and they're selling their stuff like that, But I guess if you come away with $200-300 million, that is generational wealth. It's generational type money that can be still transformed into generational wealth. Because the wealth ain't about the money. It's about the assets and it's about any type of foundational institution that you can establish to leave when you're gone that's going to outlive you, that your people who really rock with you can benefit from, and they're going to keep it going. Not just mess it off like, some of us, grandma ain't had nothing but a paid for house, just a little bitty 3-bedroom paid for house in the hood, and she ain't gone 6 months, and y'all done messed that off. Y'all done lost that, or sold it, or even worse, lost it. Didn't pay the taxes on it.
There you go.
Lost it. So I mean, we got to be more in line. But again, to your point, we got to make it clear to the ones who we really rock with. You got to make it clear to them. Look, this is what I want. This is what it is. My daddy do me like that all the time. He's like, man, look, man, I want you to get this, man. Come get this and take this, You gotta have that, man.
My mama like that, but I don't like it when she talk like that.
Nah, me neither.
She definitely do that. My dad wasn't like that at all.
And it's great. I'm glad you said it, because it's like those are, the hard conversations that people don't like to have. Because like you said, when your loved one saying like, "Oh man, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
You ain't going nowhere, mom."
My mom be bragging. I've already paid for the service. I've already did this and that. I'm like, Jesus.
That's doing your due diligence.
That's doing your due diligence.
You just don't want to think about that, that situation.
Yeah.
But in the event for anybody, then you like, okay, well, it's good to have, because instead of going through that mad scramble that normally takes place, man. People will show you that they never loved you, boy. Say, y'all did not love Uncle Joe like y'all talking, boy.
Exactly.
You better not cry at the funeral. You better not cry at the funeral. But I'm watching how you operating in the house right now. The people ain't took his body out the house yet.
Yeah.
So yeah,
They had a video of a girl at her mama's funeral, and she was doing the same thing. She was like, he ain't fuck with you at all. And I don't even know why you even here.
I feel like I saw that.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. No, but people keep it real like that, because some people can't stomach all that fakeness in those kind of situations. It's like you say, mama didn't dream like you and all this other stuff. When people come and they pay their respects for whatever reason, Some people pay their respects because they're like, yeah, I ain't like him either, but I'm gonna still just as a human come and pay my respect. But then other people like just they looking around, they glad to see your family suffer.
That's crazy.
Yeah, look at his son. Now what he gonna do when he needs some money, you know? So it's legacy talk is an important conversation because you know that's why we should be living. Bro. We should be living to understand that. Look, hey man, you only get so much time here.
Yeah.
What am I going to do to make sure that my name is still getting mentioned? I think about Screw all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Screw name is mentioned 1,000 times a day throughout the world, 20 years after his passing.
But that's because his interaction was his currency. Everybody that he came in contact with has a story. Yeah. Yeah. You're like that. You're rich within the city. You're rich within everything you touch. Like all your music, every fan. You sort of have the same story when it comes to you. You know, that's that wealth that you can't steal.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Because it's about what you deposit in other people. You know what I'm saying? You can deposit money in a bank account, but you got to deposit jewels inside of other people. You know, so that they can spread them and deposit them other people. You know, so you look at, like say, you look at a Screw, you look at Tupac guys who all these individuals have in common most of the time is that they live very short life. You know, Screw's like, I don't even think Screw made 30. He was like 29.
Oh, 29.
I want to say, and you know, Pop was what 25.
25.
Yeah, so, but what you leave, you know, even Nipsey and guys like that, you know, that legacy is what keeps your name in people's mouth forever. You know, either Martin Luther King, Malcolm, you know, all these different people that did C-40, you know, that's the key. So your work adds to that, you know, because, and I think they may think about that too. They might feel like, well, you know what, man, yeah, I sold a publisher, but people gonna still hear my music. My music, I'm gonna still be in people's minds and ears because music is transferred, the ownership of those publishing rights, but it's still getting played.
Yeah.
I'm still alive. Y'all still seeing me. So it just depends, man.
And when you get immortal through the music.
Without it, man, look, music is one of the things that immortalize you. Just like
videos
now and like you're an athlete or something like that. And that's the whole key. You want to do something. See, I always mention Dr. Abdul Halim Muhammad because he always will say something that'll revisit you later on. And you know, he's spoken on a lot of my records and all that. And videos and all that. And when he does that, if you have a side conversation with him, he always say, "Oh, bro, I'm just putting in my bid for immortality."
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what he'd always say. He'd say, "Man, this is my bid for immortality," meaning that anything I participate on these kind of levels, somebody gonna see that. Yeah. So you think about Wicked Cricket, our OG, H-Town OG.
Yeah.
Wicked, I was so grateful, not that Wicked is gone, not happy that he was gone, but I was happy that when he did leave us, he left us at a time where the social media era was in full swing to where we got a lot of footage of him. You know, we got a lot of, you can go on YouTube and pull up Wicked Cricket at any time and hear his voice. You can see him talking, see him interacting, laughing and playing around, hear him on song. We didn't get that with Big Mello. We didn't get that with AC Chill because they left right before that kicked in. So legacy is big, man.
But even you as a walking Wicked Cricket, like the same things he used to say at those shows, you said now. I was
without see because he told me. He told me when he was sick, he said, "Man, I know you're gonna keep my name alive." He said, "I know you're gonna keep my name alive." He emphasized you. Like he put that, like he was giving me an assignment. So so anything that I learned from him, and it ain't just when he was gone, when he was around, I was still, if I'm doing a show, I was incorporating a lot of what he taught us and taught me just because the principles was real. It's like, man, so I'm a say what he said. And then I'm gonna make sure to preface it with letting the people out there know that he the one said it to me. So if you out there going, who he said, okay, do your research. You know, or come ask me, I'll tell you who he was.
He was still, till right before he got sick, he was still in Kansas on Wednesdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays.
He was coming out when he was sick. We had to pack Wicked Cricket on stage at one of the last shows that he came to because that's just who he was.
Yeah, he gonna give it to
he
you.
was, and he was like, man, he's like, I got to be there. You know what I'm saying? And so to the very end, come on.
There you go, put my bid in immortality.
Bid for immortality. And to the very end, he was like, I got to be there, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to just lay here in bed, you know. If like I say, if y'all got to pick me up and pack me to the stage, which they literally picked up the OG and put him on stage, sat him in the seat, and because that's how he wanted it. You know, I wouldn't worry about the pain in the moment. At this moment, I need to be around. I need to see my people one more time, or one next to the last time, and that's what he did, man. That's what he did. So I think about all that. You know, I wish a lot of stuff that he did would have been in the matrix, so to say, to where maybe it could have generated some revenue that his family could be eating off of right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of us got to get into. So, because we reading off this list, we reading off what we view to be big name artists, and they are big name artists, big mainstream artists. You know, you selling. If somebody's offering you $100 million for your work, then it has value to it. It has great value to it. But I don't want any of our artists, independent, underground, just coming up. Don't devalue yourself because you're trying to compare yourself to where those artists are. Look at yourself in terms of a projection, potential. Like, this could be me. My catalog could be worth this one day. You want to have the option to say yes or no, I'll sell or I won't sell. But keep doing the work in order to establish that value, man. None of these cats that came out of Houston, bro, majority of them, man, we came from the mud. I don't care if you were a platinum artist that ever came out of Houston. If you were a chameleonaire, Lil Flip, Scarface, or
Zero was staying downtown.
Come on, man, Zero sleeping outside.
While he was had CD.
Right, exactly. So you don't know what a journey gonna take you, but the best thing that you can do is educate yourself along the way as much as you can. So that way, this education about these aspects that we're talking about will serve as a shield of protection around you for if the day come. You know, because a lot of artists don't own a publishing to even get that option. So if a artist, the name will be presented that this person's publishing went for $200 million, but unless we just know for a fact by reading an article or hearing them announce it or whatever they say it in the article, it might be the label that got that $200 million. You know, so we got, man.
The labels, they got their T's. I mean, they cross their T's and they dot their I's. The labels be having life insurance policy on the people. Man. The labels be making sure all these things is in place when you sign.
Right. Because the game is different now. See, there was a time when nobody knew about publishing, but the game is different now to where the physical copies and all that. It's not. It ain't as powerful as it was. You know, boys ain't just going buying physical copies. You know, even though it's still a market for it, it ain't like it was. So the same way that the artists had to evolve in figuring out how they was gonna survive and thrive in this thing, the labels had to do it too.
Same thing.
They had to figure it out. So you see the 360 deals where I need a part of your acting, I need a part of your hats, I need a part of your draws, all this stuff. So they had to figure out ways to keep circulating that money. So, and now streaming comes along and put them in the game, boost them in the game a little stronger, you know. So, but the artist is usually left holding the bag because
they don't have subscriptions.
And we have always got the crumbs anyway. We got the crumbs off of the physical royalties.
Yup.
You know what I'm saying?
It was getting so many cents off of CD?
On CD or tape or
That's crazy.
So that aspect haven't changed. They incorporate that same principle into the streaming. Now, again, it's been talk about a bunch of legislation to try to to increase the artist percentage of the streaming revenue and all that. All that's been talked about for a while. We don't know where it's going. A lot of people are saying that it's gonna get there. They're gonna change and all that. But again, if it does, cool, because we'll all benefit from it. But it still just speaks to that lack of us owning.
Yeah.
We gotta wait to see if Massa gonna decide to give us a raise.
I remember they used to have these commercials that came on 102. Kathy, I forgot her name, but this lady, Kathy something, that'd be on the radio. This was a time right before where it was about to be a law to where if they played your music on the radio, they had to pay the artist.
Yeah.
And she was fighting tooth and nail around it.
Now, who was she? Where was she from?
She Radio 1. Kathy Hughes or something like that.
Oh, Kathy Hughes from Radio 1. Yeah. Okay. She was fighting it.
Well, you should have commercials left and right with her saying like, let's not do that. It's going to ruin radio. It's going to ruin this. It's going to ruin that. Because they had to end up having to pay the artist.
Yeah. And
she said that was going to ruin it.
Pay them like what? Like
percentage, I guess, every time they pay their song or something.
Because I know that's how publishing works. You know, you get a publishing royalty every time you get spin and all that. But even that's like a small percentage. It just accumulates if you're in heavy rotation on every major station in America and throughout the world. But so maybe they, I don't know what they whatever they was talking about. I guess she I'm gonna look that up and find out.
It was a while back.
Yeah,
right before it went into effect. But she was. I was like, why are they fighting this hard to pay the artists? That's all I was thinking when I was hearing those commercials.
Well, you know, but because the people who sit in the power seats, they gonna always be generating the majority of the revenue. And I ain't saying I don't know the story behind it, but what you're saying reminds me of like how the streaming war is going on. Like one of the biggest reasons why they don't want the artists to make a lot of money off the streams because the big companies, the Universal Music Groups, the Sonys, the Warner Brothers, they own the streaming. They are plugged into that. So Spotify and places like that, they don't want the artists to get more. They don't want the artists to get more. They fighting tooth and nail, you know. So
that's the crazy part to me. I think it's like, okay, if I incentivize the artist with a little bit of something, he'll make more money, more better records, more this and that. So then I can get most customers coming on my platform, get more subscribers. You gonna still the platform gonna still make the bigger chunk.
Greed is a real thing. Greed is a real thing. You know, that's why you see a lot of these guys running around here, you know, worth 120 billion, 100 billion, 90 billion, and they still trying to get more. So, you know, because the greed is a realistic thing. And they don't want to, and it's not so much 100% about the revenue, it's more about not wanting to give artists power. See, because the more that I'm getting, that represents power for me as well. Like, hey man, they don't want to enter into a partnership with you as an artist. They want the slave master relationship. You know, because it's always worked for them. So in that regard, like, well, you know, if they fighting with that, if that's I ain't mad at you for trying to still be you, but you ain't gonna be you at my expense. I'm gonna figure out a way. Yeah. So it's a power struggle, bro. It's just as much as it's a money thing. It's about power because the education that we receive as we go on in this thing, it empowers us and it makes us go, oh, this is what they've been doing. Yeah. Oh, I can counteract that by doing this, or I can counteract that by doing that. And that's the worst thing that they want us to get. They will give you a bunch of money.
Yeah.
They'll home. Yeah. Period. Yeah. They'll give you money, but they don't want you to have the knowledge. They don't want you to know what they know. So part of pacifying you in that regard is get a nigga $20 million. Shut up.
They don't know this getting up $300 million.
And if you turn into one of the ones that's smart enough to say, man, no, I don't want your money, bro. I want to do this, I want to do that. Then let's figure out a deal with him in another
blackball.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, trust me, man, this thing is about monopolization and it's about control and it's about dominating and keeping that slave to slave master relationship going on. Straight up.
A lot of times I wish we wouldn't have sold hip hop. You know, because like even today it's discouraging because most of our best artists, they discouraged with what is going on right now. And they ain't giving us we deprived so much of some great music because of some of the stuff that they done so far. They done brought in dummy stuff and we're to the point where they only play the most stuff that'll push our nation back, our communities back. But they push that to the forefront, and the people that was really making changes through artistry, you gotta go looking for them, and you gotta be invested in the finding these.
Right. Yeah, you know, we gotta establish a structure, man. We gotta establish something that serves as a home base where people can come and find, not have to search and with a fine-tooth comb to find these artists, where they can actually go through it and say, okay, well, man, we know these are the conscious guys here, these guys here, these guys here, and make that happen. Cause that's a good point. But I tell these cats all the time, stop getting discouraged, bro. You know, stop blaming the art form. Don't let what the industry do discourage you from the art itself, the pure form of it. Yeah. And that's what, man, I'm done. I ain't doing this no more. Because you think about the industry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like blame, it's like hating, it's like saying I hate love because of bad relationships I've been in. Yeah. Love ain't got nothing to do with it. Love did nothing to you. Yeah, exactly. You have a problem with those relationships. So we got to get in that mindset that how hip hop was in the beginning. They weren't thinking about this thing going to what it is now. They were just in the park. Doing what they do. So we maintain that spirit, but also get our business mind right at the same time, because we can't ignore the fact that this is a multi-billion-dollar industry that we in. So we deserve our piece of it. But man, I ain't gonna let them people bring me down. I'm gonna figure out how to go to war. See, that's the warfare on the business side. You know, you gotta learn what they know in order to properly compete with them. You know, if you don't know what they know, you're gonna get dominated. If you picture a guy who's 5'5", 130 pounds, and he's fighting a guy that's 6'5", 250, and the little guy, he knows all of the nuances and fight techniques and all this different stuff, and the big guy, he just big. That's all he knows.
Chop that tree down.
Yeah, you're gonna chop him down, and then you're gonna make it look easy, because the knowledge, you know, the knowledge of angles and pressure points and all the different things, this is something the big dude don't know. He just think he's gonna dominate the little guy. So, but the playing field levels, now if it was switched around, and the big guy knew all that and the little guy didn't know it, or the big guy didn't know nothing and the little guy didn't know nothing, then the big guy gonna win just on strength alone. But the little guy gets the knowledge, he changed the game. In this particular case, we the little guy.
And that's crazy, because we used to be the big guy.
Yeah. You know, see, we're the little guy in terms of where the tables have been turned, but we always been the big guy. Now we just in a situation where we don't know.
We got a little part.
Yeah, we don't know, man. We got to reestablish our identity, learn our identity, and reestablish ourselves.
So let's say that again.
Yeah, learn who we are, and then execute on it. You know, plain and simple.
Now it's never too late. Also, to, like we were saying earlier, put that will into place. Even if you want to just record it on your phone or something, it's always like today's always the best time to start doing something different that you know is gonna make a difference.
Kill a lot of confusion.
Yeah,
it wipes out a lot of confusion, man. People don't like to have that conversation, but it eliminates a lot. So because brothers and sisters stop talking to each other.
Oh man,
and even mamas and daddies, because if the child blows up and turns into this star when they teenage or in their 20s and something happens, now you got grown parents going to war behind it. You know, they're not together. And you know, my son said that this, you know, we can't speculate that. So and then when those judges get a hold of it, then they're gonna make a decision that probably ain't gonna be satisfactory to nobody in the family.
Yeah.
Or and that's why sometimes when people know their family members, man, that's why a lot of these people, especially the eccentric white people, boy, they will leave all their money to the pet. I'm leaving all my wealth to my kitten, Fluffy, or some foundation.
I'm about to say, like the Red Cross stuff. And they got 8 kids. Nobody gets nothing. Woo-wee. That's cold.
But
they got to move out the house.
But they know their people. And sometimes that be
the people know them.
Yeah, but that be their last act of, okay, I'm gonna get you right now. You know what I'm saying? And then their last act of that. And when they do that, guess what? The boy, they be hot. They be mad, boy. Oh, they be mad. Man.
Yeah, I seen a movie like that the other day. Yeah. They got him.
Man, look, it's an episode of Twilight Zone called The Mask.
Twilight Zone. You just showed your age.
Hey, look.
That's Twilight Zone.
I'm Twilight Zone today.
I know you're talking about. You come on Channel 20 today.
Go watch the episode of the Twilight Zone called The Mask.
The Mask.
MASKS. Okay. That's all I'm gonna say. It's about an old man who was getting ready to die, and he knew it. Yeah. And he brought his family because they was ready for him to die, to see what they was gonna get. Yeah. And when you see what he gave them, man, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Right. Beautiful.
Now, if y'all want to watch something on Netflix right now, go watch Knives Out. It's sort of the same thing. You gotta check that one out. I'm gonna check that one out. Knives Out.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm gonna check out that one you just talked about.
Yeah, check it out, man. But just to recap, y'all, we talking about a lot of these artists selling their catalog. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
Did we ever say was it a good thing or bad thing?
I'm not gonna say because you know why?
You don't know your predicament.
And it's relative. Yeah, it's relative. I don't know what your situation is. Because we laid out the reasons why they could possibly be doing it. Like I say, you may need the financial help. You may be in trouble. You may just decide that, hey man, I'm getting old. I want to go and liquefy everything and just then redistribute. You might decide that, hey man, it's a tax break. You may decide that, hey, I'm just gonna start fresh and rebuild and hit this lick. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's so many different reasons, and all those reasons that we listed, I can't say that one of them is bad outside the fact that if you don't have to give away your legacy like that, don't do it. But the lesson would be through it all, okay, do what you can leading up to this point to make sure you never have to get to that point and make that kind of decision where you got to give away your life's work. So it is what it is. Some people want their money all at one time.
J.D. Whitford.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean,
877 no.
That's what it is, man.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you get royalty checks?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is there songs where, like, is it certain songs that's hotter than other ones where, meaning, like, do your royalty checks go on certain ones?
Absolutely.
So do you think maybe they doing this because of dwindling? Because maybe they, like say if we was, my name was Bone Crusher, right? Yeah. And I had the one song. Right. Now, that royalty check might have been good in the 90s. Maybe 2000s it was good. But if we go in 2020s, you think he still gets sort of like that same kind of royalty check?
Nah, it's not gonna never be the same as it was when the song was hot. Yeah. When the song is hot, I can't tell you what the hottest song on the radio is or a hot song in the last year or so. I can't think of nothing off the top of my head because I don't listen to the radio. But sometimes, of course, when a song first comes out and it's the hottest single popping, the publishing is going to be generated so high because it's playing all the world 20 times a day. Now, 5 years later, it's not as hot. So, of course, the check will dwindle, but it's still going to be respectable because you still get them little spins and plays all around the world and the country and all that. So, for a lifetime, like that individual who had that one hit, he's still eating off that hit. Just may not be like it once was.
What's the lowest royalty check you got?
That I got?
Yeah.
Well, probably when I first got into publishing, because I didn't know.
I remember you
I was blind,
learning
you know?
about it.
I was making crumbs, you know what I'm saying? But and I ain't acting like I'm killing it now.
Yeah.
I ain't killing it now, but you
got a chopper full.
Yeah,
you get
well
all those songs.
But another thing that we gotta understand, publishing is based. Put it like this: making the real money as far as publishing is based on if those particular songs are getting a lot of runs somewhere that's it's gonna register. You know, so if I've never had a song that was in heavy rotation on the radio, but I've had songs that was in a movie one time.
Okay.
I had songs that might have got caught up in this particular channel one time and it got a little run. Like we just did, they just did the TV show called Mo.
Okay.
Yeah, you seen that show?
Yeah.
Okay, so that guy, they used a song that me and Zero did, you know, on one of the episodes. So that represents that kind of revenue, you know. So and it reflects on your publishing statement because you see what song ate the most during that quarter. You know, okay, that came from that. Okay, then everything else might be lightweight, you know what I'm saying? So it's just how it depends. So, but that's the reason I tell all these artists all the time, man, look, always have your stuff in the publishing circuit because you don't know what song it'll be. You can't assume, I don't get no radio play. Why should I go through publishing, BMI, ASCAP? Why should I do that? Because you just don't know, man.
It's the same thing with hits.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
You don't know.
I was going to tell Charlie Boy that. I said, out of all the songs you done done, freaking On My Mama's the hit.
I look good. I look good. I saw it on a car. Was that a car commercial? Yeah. Because you don't know. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, in Charlie Boy, shout out to Charlie Boy, man.
Shout out to Charlie Boy. Yeah. We're going to get up in here.
But that's the whole key. It's like you got to give your all, and you got to make sure. I don't care if you did a song with Lil Juju Bean in the hood. Register that, man. Because you can't predict when something might pop off, man. And something you did. See, the song that they played on the TV show that I was telling you about, we did that song in the year 2000. We did a song 20 something years. The game don't change. Okay, so 20 something years ago, bro. You don't know when it's going to
ride stuff.
Yeah, it's going to boomerang on you, man. So just be prepared. You know, they say stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And that, and like I said, I ain't acting like it just chopped the planet in half, but still it was, you know, just like, okay, that's what's up. You know, it's a pleasant surprise, you know.
It is.
You know, but at the end of the day, picture somebody who's multiplied by way more than that in terms of the exposure, in terms of the reach and the spins that they may be getting. You know, and the last point I want to make, you know, like I say, because sometimes they make you offer you can't refuse, or they feel like they can't refuse. Like Shakira, they paid her 15 times what the catalog was supposedly either worth or generating. 15 times of what she was already bringing in. So, man, you can't really pass that up.
But isn't that like how you supposed to do it? Like if you selling, like say if I'm selling my business, you supposed to sell it in a multiple, for like, okay, so this brings in this how many years, this brings in, then you sell it with a multiple, and then go man.
That's what upstart companies do all the time. You created this business, you built it from the ground up, and then Yahoo called and say, we want to give you $800 million for it, and you ain't putting nowhere close into that. Now there are some people that'll go, nah, we doing all right. Don't sell, and don't get me wrong, I get that aspect of it too, as it relates, especially as it relates to black people. Because if you look at a situation where we talk about gentrification all the time, and we talk about having our own neighborhoods and all that. So if we are establishing that type of community where it's the black bank, the black grocery store, the neighborhoods where the houses are owned by black people and all this, and then somebody wants to come along and sweep through and want to buy all this up, then that's a time where you say, well, nah, man, we good. We good. So in that regard, yeah. But just your own personal stuff, you might just say, well, it's just me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go head on, and if I can flip this for 10 or 15 times more, then I can double back and rebuild into my own on a bigger scale. So it's a bunch of ways that you can approach it, but I'm not one that's all for selling everything out. Just give it all, just sell it all away. We gotta have something, we gotta have something.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is, man. Somebody come to you and say, Keystone, man, I want to buy the whole no regret media concept from you, man. I got 10 million for you right now. You know what I'm saying? You gonna sell out and take that money, man.
Nah, we do percentages and leasing. License, what they call license and percentages.
Yeah. And people do that too, bro. Because sometimes people say, well, man, yeah, I'm gonna sell, but I still need to have a piece of it or whatever. I mean,
I look at the pain in Benzino's face to this day.
Yeah.
When they took his own idea, his own creation away from him.
What the source?
Because he sold it out, then he had to come back and try to make the same exact thing, and it never was the same.
Yeah. Because the product that was created, that was lightning in the bottle.
Yeah,
and it was hard for him to see. You say, well, I can just do it again.
Negative.
It's like okay, you know what? Me and my girlfriend, we the one who we reproduced and made LeBron. Then LeBron disowns me. Oh, well, we'll just make another one.
Yeah.
Nah, you ain't got to. This cat come out, he clumsy, he can't even shoot. So I get that. But did they give him some money?
Man, he wanted to go public. Yeah. So he wanted to make that extra money.
Right. And
then they got a chair and now you got a board.
Right.
And then the board voted him out and fired him.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's how that board works, bro.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
And it's still open to today.
If you don't matter if you started the company, it was your idea. That doggone board of directors, they will run you out of your own stuff.
Your own stuff didn't change the name or nothing. Right, it's still the source. And I was like,
that's devilish.
Yeah.
But that's why we got to educate and protect ourselves and not even put ourselves in that kind of position, man. I hate to hear it because think about how much money that the source has generated since ousting him.
It was
how much money that he done lost and left on the table, behind that. That's one of them. That's a lesson that's hard lesson.
Yeah, my boys cooking crab legs.
Yeah. See, that's tough.
Cold.
Yeah, and seeing stuff like that, man, that stuff like that sit with you, man. See, we all make mistakes that are eternal on our brain. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care if it's a relationship you had the perfect wife, the perfect husband, you just blew it, and then you sitting there, or the perfect potential, and then you just blew it, and now somebody else is just benefiting off of what you tricked off. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta watch it.
Yeah, and then you gotta watch them little punkish little lightweight offers that they'll try to make you when they know that you don't really have nothing.
Yeah.
So they'll say, well, man, we'll give you 200,000. Oh, 200,000? I ain't never had that kind of money. And then next thing you know, they made 200 million.
Yeah,
quick. So, real quick, man. So it's a dirty game, but also we can't fault the devil for being devilish. Yeah. We got to know how to protect ourselves against the devilment. Plain and simple, man.
And it starts with education.
Without a doubt, man. It starts with education, understanding about building and establishing your legacy. And but I can't, the end conclusion of this whole conversation, y'all, I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't know. I have no idea.
But we know they got paid.
I don't know. They got paid, and it's what you do after that. It's what you do after that because, sometimes you can, like flipping houses, man. You get one, flip it, start another, get another, just keep the process going. So who knows? Everybody different, man. Just don't sell for $200 million and then just go spend $199 on cocaine. We will catch y'all next time, man, on the Underground Dialogue
All right.
podcast, where the name speaks for itself. It's your big brother K.
And
Reno.
this key stolen the dough straight out that boat.
Oh, you boy. He came with a flow on these boys. He surprised me with that one. Okay, he's a poet and didn't even much know it.
There you go.
Hey man, we out, man. We out. Let's do it. What up, man? It's your big brother K. Reno.
And keep stolen the dough.
Underground Dialogue podcast. As y'all can see, man, the merch is in. We got
in.
we hats and hoodies on these boys, man. So look, if y'all want to get some of this Underground Dialogue podcast merchandise, y'all need to jump on and let them know what they got.
You just go to the website. It's called undergrounddialogue.com and pictures, whatever you need, we got you right there, man. Come and help support the Underground Dialogue podcast. And man, get you some of this cold ass merch, man.
You know what I'm saying? You know what it is, man. We ain't playing with it, man. Look. Look at that.
All grassroots, man.
You know what I'm saying? These are different. See, this is the logo, and this is
the
the
logo.
logo of the corporate look. So whatever y'all need, different colors, we want to be without this right around time, just in time for winter.
Right in time for Christmas. Go to undergrounddialogue.com. Get yours today.
Salute.
I wonder if they ready. They ain't ready to have this conversation. Or these kind of conversations. But guess what? We gonna have them anyway. Underground dialogue. We gon' tell the truth. We ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are. Do we bow? Not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. Underground dialogue. We gon' tell the truth. We ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are. Do we bow? Not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. From the industry to the Oval Office, we expose the darkest motives of them all and disclose what the protocol is. Thinking and moving logical, stopping every maneuver possible, and apologizing for truth is not optional. We gon' help you with what you go through, reshape and mold you.
What's up, man? It's your big brother K. Reno, and check this out, man. The Underground Dialogue podcast is offering advertising opportunities, man. You can promote your business, you can promote your video, your song, whatever it is that you have, man. Reach out to us if you're interested in promoting on the Underground Dialogue podcast. All you got to do is email us at undergrounddialoguepodcast@gmail.com. Get it.